But let's get into something now that is also very important, and that is sort of, there's so many people that are going sort of plant-based or even vegan, right? Now, I want you to understand what I'm doing today on this. This is, I'm talking vegan, which means that when you start seeing things in here, it really is going to be all vegan. Because plant-based, I mean, I eat plant-based, and I'm an omnivore. Okay, I just have more fruits and vegetables than I do everything else, but I still have a gram per pound of protein, and I get it from very lean meats, fish, poultry, everything else. That's still a plant-based diet, like a Mediterranean diet, which we'll look at in just a second. I listed all those things out for you. So anyway, well, this is a complete vegan version of gaining muscle for all the people that really want to be vegans. All right, okay, and again, so this is the exact same webinar that I did for all of you back in July, except it's veganized, so it's a different, right? So you're going to see the same things that you saw before for those of you that are on here, but you're going to see where the differences are when it comes to vegan. So one thing I always like to start out with, muscle size and performance are not mutually exclusive. They can actually work together, but not always, right? They can be symbiotic to some degree, but it really depends on the activity. So if a sprinter gains too much muscle, they may not be as fast because they gain 10 pounds of weight. They got to drag down the field. So it really depends. So they're not necessarily separate, and they're not necessarily synergistic. Really depends on how far you go. So a quick introduction here. And this is what I was just kind of mentioning earlier. Plant-based does not necessarily equate to vegan. So keep that in mind. Separate the two, plant-based and vegan. All right. So proportionally, what a plant-based diet is, it means that you're choosing more foods from plant sources. That's all, more foods. So if you look at a Mediterranean diet, I mean, it actually has, you know, lots of seafood, lots of protein from animals, okay? But it's also definitely got more plants in it, right? But veganism has 0 plants. So there's a big gap between that when it comes to a plant-based diet. So here's some expanding definitions. So the more people that are getting involved in plant-based diets, the definitions keep expanding. So I threw a couple of them in here for you. There's what we call the semi-vegetarian or flexitarian, right? Includes eggs, dairy foods, and occasional meat, poultry, fish, and seafood. That's the flexitarian. The other one, the pescatarian, which includes eggs, dairy foods, fish, seafood like being, you know, shellfish that is not categorized as a fish, but no meat or poultry, and meat being red meat, okay? Because I consider fish meat, and it is. All right, and then there's a vegetarian or lacto-ovo-vegetarian, which includes eggs, dairy foods, but no meat, poultry, fish, or seafood. And then of course there is the vegan. Now, vegan includes not only no animal foods, or what people think of, but no animal sourcing, which is why our multivitamin cannot source anything from animals for the vegan multi. And then finally, there's the fruitarian, which is, you know, very difficult. And I would challenge being able to build muscle on that diet, which is fruits, nuts, seeds, and veggies. It might be pretty uncomfortable for most people.